Have you ever felt a heavy weight sitting on your chest and you could not understand why? You wake up in the morning, but something feels off. It is not that you are sick or hurt, but your mind feels tired and your heart feels restless. Maybe it is a small frustration, a traffic jam, a comment from someone that upset you, or a long list of tasks that never ends. At first, you ignore it. You say, "It's nothing, I can handle this." But slowly, the weight grows. You feel tense, your thoughts move too fast, and your body feels tired even when you sleep. This is the first step to understanding frustration. Frustration is like a small storm inside you. It comes when something blocks you from reaching what you want. Maybe you wanted to finish your work on time, but the printer stops working. Maybe you tried to call someone, but the phone did not work. These small events are part of life, but frustration is how your mind reacts. The heart beats faster, your hands shake a little, and you may feel the desire to shout or run away. But what if this frustration does not go away? What if it stays and grows bigger? Then stress begins. Stress is different. Stress is a long, quiet tension that builds when your mind carries too many worries. You may not even notice it at first. You feel tired, your sleep is not good, and your mind keeps thinking about what you cannot change. Stress can be at work, at school, at home, or inside your own thoughts. It is like carrying a bag full of stones. Every day you add one more stone, and your back starts to ache. Sometimes, stress leads to sadness, low energy, and even depression. Depression is heavier. It is not just a bad day. It is not just being upset. Depression can feel like the world is gray, like a cloud covering the sun, and nothing brings joy. It is often silent. People around you may not notice it because you may still go to work or school, but inside, it is very different. Understanding the difference between frustration, stress, and depression is the first step to taking control. And today, we are going to explore this journey together. We will see how small frustrations become stress, how stress can grow, and what steps you can take to feel free again. You may think, "I do not have time to think about this. I am too busy." But thinking about your mind is as important as taking care of your body. Without attention, small problems grow bigger. So let us start with a story. Imagine a young man named Alex. Alex works in a busy office. Every day, he wakes up early, drinks his coffee, and goes to work. He tries to finish his tasks, but emails keep coming. His boss asks for reports he cannot complete on time. His coworkers complain about small things. At first, Alex feels frustrated. "Why does this always happen to me?" he thinks. Then, the frustration does not go away. He starts thinking about work at night. He cannot sleep. He forgets to eat sometimes. His body feels tired. Slowly, frustration turns into stress. Alex is stressed because he feels he cannot meet all demands. He worries about the future, about his mistakes, and about what others think. Stress takes over his thoughts. His friends notice that he smiles less. He cancels plans. He does not enjoy movies or games anymore. But still, Alex thinks he can manage. Then one morning, Alex feels he cannot get out of bed. His mind is clouded. He does not feel joy. Even his favorite music does not make him happy. His energy is gone. This is when stress has turned into depression. Depression is not something you can ignore or push away. It is real, and it needs attention. But here is the important part. All these feelings, frustration, stress, depression, are signals. They are messages from your mind and body. They tell you something is wrong, something needs change. And when you understand these messages, you can take control. You can act before small frustration becomes unbearable stress and before stress turns into depression. Today, we will explore how to recognize the signals early, how to manage frustration, how to reduce stress, and how to care for your mind if sadness or depression comes. We will tell stories, ask questions, reflect on feelings, and give simple, practical steps. You will not only listen to English, but also practice understanding emotions, making sentences about your thoughts, and speaking naturally about feelings. So, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Open your mind. Imagine you are walking with me through this journey of the mind, of emotions, and of control. By the end, you will not only understand frustration, stress, and depression, you will understand yourself better. You may wonder, can one person really control these feelings? The answer is yes. Small steps, small habits, and small awareness can change your life. And now let us continue with Alex's story to see how frustration begins and how it whispers quietly before growing. Alex thought he was handling his frustrations. He tried to ignore them, telling himself, "It is just a small problem. I will finish it later." But small problems do not disappear when you ignore them. They grow quietly, like seeds in dark soil. One morning, Alex's computer crashed just as he was about to send an important report. He slammed his desk lightly and muttered, "Why now? Why always me?" The words were soft, almost whispered, but inside, a small storm had begun. Frustration is like that. It is sudden, sharp, and easy to notice. You feel it when something blocks your plan. You want to act, you want to fix it, but the world does not cooperate. Alex felt his chest tighten. His thoughts repeated, "I cannot do this. I cannot finish in time." His breathing became faster. His mind jumped from one problem to another. This is the first sign that frustration can turn into stress. Stress is different from frustration. Frustration is like a spark. Stress is like fire. Fire can warm you if small, but if it spreads, it burns everything around it. Alex did not see it at first. He thought he was just tired, overworked, or unlucky. But stress is more subtle. It hides under your daily routine. It hides in your thoughts. It hides in your body. You may feel headaches, tight shoulders, or a racing heart. Your stomach may hurt. Your sleep may be disturbed. You may eat too much or too little. These are signals, small alarms telling you that your mind is under pressure. Alex started noticing these signs. Some days, he woke up exhausted, even after a full night's sleep. He tried coffee, he tried fast food, he tried to push through. But the more he pushed, the heavier the load became. One afternoon, Alex went for a short walk in the park. He hoped the fresh air would help. But even there, his mind did not stop. He thought about emails, meetings, and the mistakes he had made last week. His walk became a thinking session, a place where stress whispered in his ear, "You are not enough. You cannot handle it. You will fail." Do you feel this sometimes? Thoughts repeating over and over, telling you that you cannot manage, even when deep down, you know you can? That is stress speaking. Stress is not just a mental state. It is a conversation between your body and your mind. Your body tells your mind it is tired. Your mind tells your body to work harder. The loop continues, and soon, small sparks of frustration can become a heavy cloud hanging over your day. Alex's story shows how this happens slowly. Each frustration, each delay, each unexpected event added one stone to his backpack. At first, he did not feel it. One day, he looked back and realized the bag was too heavy to carry. Now, you may wonder, can we stop stress before it becomes depression? Yes. Awareness is the first tool. Recognizing small frustration before it grows is like noticing the first cloud before a storm. Small actions can reduce stress. Alex tried something simple at first. He wrote down his worries. He took a few minutes to breathe deeply. He asked for help when he needed it. Each small habit was a stone removed from the backpack. Sometimes it felt slow. Sometimes it felt useless. But slowly, the burden became lighter. Here is something important. Stress is not always bad. Stress can motivate you to finish a task or solve a problem. The problem is uncontrolled stress. Stress that grows silently, day by day, without release. That stress can become depression. Alex did not know this at first. One evening, he came home feeling exhausted. His body was tense, his mind was clouded, and even his favorite meal tasted bland. He sat on the couch and thought, is this how life will always feel? That is the moment when stress can move to depression. But before that, there are signs you can notice. If you feel tired often, if small tasks feel bigger than they are, if your thoughts repeat worries, if your sleep is disturbed, these are signals. And you can act. You can pause. You can breathe. You can speak your mind to someone you trust. Alex started learning this slowly. He realized that taking a short break, walking, stretching, or simply saying, "I am feeling stressed," helped more than ignoring the problem. You do not need to solve everything at once. Small steps matter. Another tool Alex discovered was perspective. He asked himself, will this matter in 1 week? 1 month? 1 year? Often, the answer was no. Many problems were important at the moment, but not permanent. Seeing them this way reduced their weight. Alex also learned to ask questions instead of giving answers immediately. Instead of thinking, I cannot do this, he asked, what can I do now? This simple shift changed his relationship with stress. Stress became a guide, not an enemy. He began to see frustration as a signal, stress as a message, and his actions as the way to take control. Now, imagine yourself with Alex. Think about the small frustrations in your life. How do they make you feel? Are they sparks or clouds? Notice your breathing, your tension, your thoughts. Writing them down or speaking about them can make them smaller. Sharing them with a friend or a loved one can make them lighter. This is the beginning of control. By understanding how frustration grows into stress, you are learning to notice the signals before the storm arrives. And this is not just a story about Alex. It is your story too. Every small step you take to notice, breathe, or act is a step to prevent stress from becoming heavier. In the next section, we will explore the moment when stress becomes depression, how to notice the signs early, and how simple, natural actions can help you regain energy and joy. We will meet Alex again as his journey continues, and you will see that even in difficult moments, hope and control are possible. Alex woke up one morning and noticed something strange. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and the world seemed normal, but he did not feel normal. He felt a quiet heaviness in his chest, a dullness in his thoughts, and a lack of energy he could not explain. He looked at his reflection in the mirror. His eyes seemed tired, even though he had slept for 8 hours. His smile felt distant, as if it belonged to someone else. This is often how depression begins, quietly, almost invisibly. It does not shout or break things. It whispers. It tells you that small joys do not matter anymore. You may lose interest in activities you used to love. Movies, music, talking with friends, even your favorite food may feel flat, distant, or unappealing. Alex noticed these changes, but tried to ignore them. He told himself, I am just tired. I will feel better tomorrow. But tomorrow came, and he felt the same. His energy stayed low. His thoughts became heavy. He replayed mistakes and worries in his mind over and over. He started avoiding friends, saying, I am busy or I just need some rest. This is another signal of depression, withdrawal. You may want to be alone more often. You may feel that no one understands you. Even small decisions can feel overwhelming. Getting out of bed, choosing what to eat, replying to messages, all of these tasks feel heavier than normal. Alex realized something important. Depression is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is a natural reaction when stress builds too long without relief. The mind and body are sending signals, asking for attention, care, and understanding. One day, Alex decided to try a simple practice. He opened a notebook and wrote down 3 things he noticed about his feelings. He wrote slowly, "I feel heavy. I have no energy. I do not enjoy things I used to like." Writing his thoughts did not fix everything, but it helped him recognize patterns. Awareness is the first step to action. Small steps matter. Alex began to experiment with tiny habits. He started by moving his body gently. A short walk, stretching, or a few slow breaths. He noticed that even small movement made his thoughts slightly clearer. Then, he tried connecting with someone he trusted. He called a friend and said, "I am feeling low today. Can we talk?" Speaking aloud his feelings was hard at first, but it made the quiet shadow lighter. You may wonder, is talking always enough? Sometimes it is, sometimes professional help is needed. The important point is not to ignore the feelings. Early recognition allows you to take steps before depression deepens. Another important tool is daily structure. Alex began to keep a simple routine: wake up, eat breakfast, take a walk, write down thoughts, connect with a friend. The routine created small signals of stability in his day. Even small accomplishments, a cup of tea, a short walk, finishing one task, became victories. Reflection also helps. Alex asked himself gently, "What can I control? What cannot I control?" Stress often comes from focusing on things we cannot change. Depression can feel overwhelming because it clouds our sense of control. By noticing small areas where action is possible, like moving, speaking, writing, he reclaimed small parts of his life. If you listen carefully, you can also notice early signs in yourself. Do you feel heavier than usual? Do small tasks feel harder? Do you avoid people or activities you usually enjoy? These are not failures. They are signals. You can act. Coping with early depression does not require grand steps. It begins with tiny actions repeated daily. Moving, breathing, writing, connecting, structuring your day, these build a foundation for mental health. Alex's journey also teaches patience. Change is slow. Energy may not return immediately. Emotions may fluctuate. But small consistency creates results. The quiet shadow may linger, but it becomes manageable when met with gentle, consistent attention. Let us pause for a moment. Imagine your own day. What small steps can you take to notice your feelings? Can you write them down? Can you move your body? Can you speak to someone? By practicing these simple habits, you train your mind to respond before feelings become overwhelming. This is the key message: recognition, small action, consistency. Depression may feel heavy and quiet, but awareness and gentle daily habits allow control to grow. In the next section, we will explore practical strategies to manage frustration, stress, and early depression simultaneously, with storytelling examples from Alex's life and exercises you can follow in your own day. We will also explore the mindset shift from "I cannot manage" to "I can take small steps to improve." Alex sat at his desk one morning, thinking about the weight he had carried for weeks. He remembered the sparks of frustration, the clouds of stress, and the quiet shadow of sadness. He realized that ignoring his feelings had not helped. It was time to try something different. Change does not happen suddenly. It begins with small, simple steps repeated every day. One of the first things Alex tried was noticing his thoughts. When frustration rose, he asked himself, "What exactly is bothering me? Can I change it right now?" Sometimes, the answer was yes, and he could act immediately. Sometimes, the answer was no, and he learned to let it go for the moment. This simple awareness gave him a sense of control. You can try this too. When you feel frustrated or stressed, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, "Can I do something about this now? Or should I let it rest?" Sometimes, just noticing is enough to reduce the power of the emotion. Alex also learned the importance of movement. Sitting at a desk for long hours had made him tense, and tension worsened stress. He began taking short walks, stretching his body and practicing gentle breathing. Each movement was a message to his body. I care about you. I notice you. Even 5 minutes of walking or stretching changed how his mind felt. Another habit Alex practiced was journaling. He wrote about his feelings, his frustrations, and the small successes of the day. Writing slowed his racing thoughts. It helped him notice patterns and celebrate progress. You can use this tool too. Start with one line. Today I felt, because, or one thing I did well today was. Over time, small reflections create clarity and calm. Mindset shifts were equally important. Alex noticed that he often told himself, I cannot do this, or everything is too much. He learned to reframe these thoughts gently. I will try my best, or I can handle one thing at a time. These small shifts changed his internal dialogue from criticism to support. You may notice the difference when you speak kindly to yourself. The voice in your mind matters. Alex also began structuring his day with small routines. Simple actions like waking up at the same time, having breakfast, taking a short walk, and connecting with a friend became anchors. Stress often feels overwhelming because life feels unpredictable. Routines create stability. Small habits, repeated, create trust in yourself. Another key lesson Alex discovered was asking for help. He reached out to a friend, a mentor, or a professional when the weight felt too heavy. Asking for help is not weakness, it is courage. We are social beings. Connection reduces stress and makes burdens lighter. Alex practiced self-compassion. When he made mistakes, he said gently, it is okay. I am learning. I am human. Frustration often comes from expectations. When we expect too much of ourselves, small failures feel large. Kindness toward oneself reduces stress naturally. Over time, these small steps, awareness, movement, journaling, mindset shifts, routine, connection, and self-compassion built resilience. Alex still faced challenges. Frustration appeared, stress returned, and quiet shadows lingered. But now he noticed them earlier. He responded calmly. He took action where possible. He released what he could not change. You can apply these lessons too. Begin with one small habit. Maybe it is a short walk, a line in a journal, a deep breath, or a kind thought toward yourself. Repetition matters. One small step may feel insignificant at first, but over weeks, these steps create strength. Imagine your day with Alex's tools. You wake up, notice how you feel, take a short walk, write one line about your day, talk to a friend, and breathe deeply. By evening, you feel lighter. By repeating this each day, you gradually take control. Here is a question to reflect on. Which small habit can you start today? Do not think about changing everything at once. Focus on one small action. Celebrate it. Repeat it. Alex's story shows that transformation is possible when attention, awareness, and action meet. Small, gentle steps build momentum. They reduce frustration, prevent stress from becoming heavier, and lighten the quiet shadow of sadness. You do not need grand plans. You need consistency, patience, and kindness toward yourself. In the next section, we will explore real-life stories of people who applied these simple strategies, including examples of challenges, failures, successes, and how they overcame them. Through storytelling, you will practice listening, understanding English naturally, and reflecting on your own journey. We will continue to speak slowly, clearly, and naturally, just like a conversation with a friend, so that your English listening and speaking improve while you learn emotional control. After Anna experienced the first success of deep work, she realized that focus is not only about big projects. Small habits every day create a strong focus muscle. She starts with tiny experiments. First, she decides to make her morning phone free. She leaves her phone in another room while having breakfast. It feels strange at first. She wants to check messages, scroll social media, or see notifications. But she resists. Slowly, she notices something new. She enjoys her breakfast more. She feels calm. She notices the taste of the food, the sound of the coffee pouring, the sunlight through the window. This small habit strengthens her attention and prepares her mind for the day. Next, Anna creates a list of 3 priorities every morning. Not 10, not 20, just 3. She writes them slowly, thinking, what is most important today? By focusing on 3 things, she avoids feeling overwhelmed. She notices progress more clearly. Crossing off one task feels like a small victory. Speaking this aloud in English also helps her practice clarity. Today, I will finish the report. I will call my client. I will plan the next project. Repeat slowly. Today, I will finish the report. I will call my client. I will plan the next project. One more time, slowly, with feeling. This habit is small, but it strengthens both focus and language. Another habit Anna tries is single tasking for short periods. She sets a timer for 20 minutes. During this time, she focuses on one task only. No phone, no notifications, no multitasking. The first sessions are difficult. Her mind wanders. But she notices the feeling and gently returns to the task. I notice my mind wandering. I return to my task. Slowly, she repeats this as a mantra while working. Speaking it aloud helps both her English and attention. I notice my mind wandering. I return to my task. Repeat slowly. I notice my mind wandering. I return to my task. Anna also learns the habit of taking breaks intentionally. Deep work is not about working nonstop. Every hour, she stands, stretches, drinks water, or looks outside. These breaks are not distractions. They refresh the mind and prepare her for the next focus session. She even speaks aloud. I rest. I feel calm. I am ready to focus again. Repeat slowly. I rest. I feel calm. I am ready to focus again. Small actions, spoken slowly, strengthen attention, calmness, and English practice. Finally, Anna practices noticing distractions without judgment. When a message, notification, or thought interrupts, she does not get frustrated. She says slowly, I notice this distraction. I will return to my work. Repeat slowly, I notice this distraction. I will return to my work. One more time, I notice this distraction. I will return to my work. By noticing without reacting, she trains patience, focus, and clear thinking. Through these small habits, Anna gradually builds her focus muscle. She starts to enjoy work, learning, and even conversations more. Focus is not only about productivity. It is about feeling calm, present, and satisfied. Alex was not alone in his journey. Many people face frustration, stress, and the quiet shadow of sadness. Hearing their stories can help us understand that these feelings are normal and that small actions create change. Take Maria, for example. She worked long hours in a busy shop. Customers shouted, machines broke, and her manager demanded perfection. At first, Maria felt frustrated. She would leave work exhausted and complain to her friends. But she ignored her stress. Slowly, she began losing sleep. She became anxious about small mistakes and stopped going out with friends. One day, Maria realized she could not continue like this. She decided to take small steps. She began writing a few lines about her day. She practiced deep breathing for 5 minutes each morning. She asked a coworker for help when tasks were too heavy. After weeks, Maria noticed small changes. She slept better, smiled more, and even enjoyed her favorite music again. Maria's story shows that small habits create a chain of relief. You may wonder, what if my stress feels bigger than Maria's? Everyone's situation is different. The key is awareness and small action. Another story is about John, a university student. John was under pressure to pass exams. He procrastinated, worried, and compared himself to friends. Frustration became stress, and stress brought sadness. John felt hopeless. He decided to speak with a counselor. With guidance, he started setting small goals, studying for 30 minutes, taking breaks, and reflecting on progress. Slowly, he regained confidence. John's story teaches the importance of asking for help and breaking big challenges into small steps. Then there is Sarah, a mother of 2 children. She felt overwhelmed by daily responsibilities. She had little time for herself. She started noticing frustration when small arguments with her children upset her. She practiced pausing, taking deep breaths, and speaking gently. She also set aside 10 minutes each day to write about her feelings. Over time, she felt calmer and more in control. Sarah's example shows that awareness and small habits can help even in the busiest lives. What do these stories have in common? They show that frustration is natural, stress is manageable, and early sadness can be softened. They also show that small, repeated actions, writing, breathing, moving, connecting, create real change. Now, think about yourself. Have you felt like Alex, Maria, John, or Sarah? Maybe small frustrations grow into stress for you. Maybe quiet sadness lingers. What can you do today? Can you write one line about your feelings? Take a 5-minute walk? Speak to someone you trust? These are the small steps that lead to big changes. Listening carefully to these stories also helps your English. Notice how the sentences flow, how emotions are described simply, and how thoughts are expressed naturally. Try repeating phrases aloud. Practice slow, clear speaking. Practice noticing emotions in yourself as you practice English. This is the power of learning language through storytelling. Another lesson from real stories is patience. Change is not instant. Maria, John, and Sarah did not fix everything overnight. They built habits slowly, reflected on feelings, and repeated small steps. You can do the same. Alex learned patience too. He stopped expecting perfection. He allowed himself to make mistakes. He celebrated small victories, finishing a task, talking to a friend, taking a walk. Each small victory reduced frustration, prevented stress from growing, and lightened the quiet shadow. Real stories also teach resilience. Challenges will continue to appear. Frustration may return. Stress may rise. But small steps, repeated consistently, create resilience. You learn to respond, not react. You regain control. You protect your energy and mind. At the end of the day, these stories remind us that awareness, reflection, small actions, and patience are the keys. Life will always have challenges, but your response matters. Take a moment to imagine your life with these tools. Frustration comes, but you notice it. Stress rises, but you breathe. Sadness appears, but you take small steps to move forward. Over time, your mind becomes stronger, calmer, and more balanced. In the next section, we will explore how to integrate these strategies into daily life, with practical exercises, repetition for English practice, and visualization to reinforce learning. By combining storytelling and English listening, you will improve both your understanding of emotions and your fluency naturally. Alex realized that understanding frustration, stress, and early sadness was one thing, but applying what he learned every day was another. Life does not stop, and challenges keep coming. The key was building habits that could act like a shield, small, simple actions repeated daily to protect his mind. He started with the morning. Each day, he took 3 deep breaths before leaving bed. He noticed how his body felt and how his mind reacted. A simple moment of awareness, less than a minute, set the tone for the day. Then he walked for 5 minutes, paying attention to the sounds, the air, and the movement of his body. Walking slowly, deliberately, helped his mind stay calm before work. After that, he wrote one line in his journal. Today I feel because, or one thing I want to do today is, writing did not need to be long. One line was enough to create awareness and intention. You can try the same. Even one line gives clarity. During the day, Alex practiced small pauses. When frustration arose, an email, a mistake, or a delay, he paused. He asked himself, can I fix this now? If not, can I let it rest? He breathed slowly, noticing tension in his shoulders, chest, and mind. Pausing allowed him to respond calmly rather than react impulsively. Another daily habit was speaking his feelings to someone he trusted. A short conversation with a friend, coworker, or family member helped him release tension. Speaking aloud is more powerful than thinking silently. Sharing emotions reduces their weight. In the evening, Alex reflected. He wrote another line or two about what went well, what he noticed, and what he could improve tomorrow. Reflection was not judgment. It was observation. Observation without criticism builds awareness. Slowly, these small habits became routine. They were not time-consuming. They were not perfect. But consistency mattered. Each repetition strengthened his ability to notice, pause, act, and release. Over time, frustration became easier to manage, stress became lighter, and early sadness did not feel overwhelming. Alex also practiced visualization. He imagined stress as a cloud passing in the sky, frustration as a small spark he could handle, sadness as a quiet shadow he could observe without fear. Visualization helped him separate feelings from identity. Feelings were part of experience, not the whole story. You can try this too. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your stress, frustration, or sadness as something outside of you. Observe it. Breathe. Let it move. This exercise strengthens the mind's ability to remain calm and focused. Alex's final tool was kindness toward himself and others. He learned that small acts of kindness reduce tension. Smiling at a stranger, giving himself permission to rest, or forgiving mistakes created emotional space. By combining awareness, movement, writing, speaking, reflection, visualization, and kindness, Alex built a daily shield. Each small habit acted like a brick. Alone, one brick may seem small. Together, they created protection, resilience, and calm. These habits also improve English naturally. Writing lines, reflecting aloud, speaking to friends, and describing your feelings allow slow, clear, natural practice. Listening to stories like Alex's and repeating phrases helps your mind and mouth practice English fluency while learning emotional control. Now, reflect on your own day. Can you take 3 deep breaths in the morning? Can you write one line in your journal? Can you pause when frustration arises? Can you speak your feelings aloud? Can you observe sadness without judgment? Can you practice small acts of kindness? Each step is small but powerful. Over weeks, these habits strengthen your mind, reduce stress, and protect against quiet sadness. Alex's story shows that change is gradual, not sudden. Small, consistent actions create lasting transformation. You do not need to wait for a crisis to start. Every day is an opportunity to practice awareness, calm, and resilience. In the next section, we will explore reflection, review, and long-term takeaways, tying together Alex's journey, real-life stories, and practical tools. You will practice English listening, understanding, and natural storytelling comprehension while learning to take control of your emotions for life. Alex looked back at his journey and realized how far he had come. He remembered the sparks of frustration, the clouds of stress, and the quiet shadow of sadness. At first, these feelings had seemed impossible to manage. But small, consistent steps had changed everything. Reflection is a powerful tool. By looking back at experiences, you notice patterns, celebrate progress, and prepare for future challenges. Alex spent time each week reflecting on 3 questions. What small step helped me today? What challenge did I notice, and how did I respond? What can I do tomorrow to feel calmer or happier? These simple questions created awareness and growth. You can try the same. Reflection does not need to be long or complicated. Even a few minutes each day help your mind recognize what works and what does not. Over time, reflection strengthens resilience. Alex also realized that emotional growth is continuous. Life will always bring frustrations, stress, and moments of sadness. The goal is not to eliminate them entirely. The goal is to notice them, respond thoughtfully, and take small actions to protect your mind. This mindset shift from "I cannot control anything" to "I can take small steps" was crucial. Another insight Alex discovered is the importance of language in processing feelings. Speaking slowly and clearly about emotions, writing them down, or sharing stories in English not only improves communication skills, but also deepens understanding of oneself. Words become tools for clarity, calm, and control. You can use English the same way. Describe your feelings aloud. I feel stressed because, or I noticed frustration when. Repeating sentences strengthens both language and emotional awareness. Long-term growth also comes from integrating habits into daily life. Alex's morning breaths, short walks, journaling, pauses during work, conversations with friends, visualization, and acts of kindness were repeated daily. Slowly, these habits became part of his identity. They were not chores. They were natural responses to life. You can adopt the same approach. Pick a few habits, repeat them daily, and notice the difference over weeks and months. Emotional control and language fluency grow together. Listening to stories, repeating phrases, reflecting on experiences, and speaking aloud help English comprehension and speaking skills naturally. Alex also realized the importance of community. Sharing stories, challenges, and successes with trusted people creates support and encouragement. You do not need to face stress or sadness alone. Connection is a protective shield. Finally, Alex embraced patience and self-compassion. He understood that setbacks are part of life. Some days, frustration returns. Some nights, sleep feels distant. Some moments, sadness lingers. That is okay. Gentle patience, repeated small steps, and awareness are the keys. Imagine yourself now. You have Alex's tools: awareness, pauses, movement, journaling, reflection, speaking, visualization, kindness, and community. Each day, practice them in small ways. Notice changes in your emotions. Notice improvement in your English listening and speaking. Celebrate small victories. Over time, you will feel calmer, more in control, and more confident. Life's challenges remain, but you have the tools to respond, not react. Frustration becomes manageable. Stress becomes lighter. Quiet sadness does not overwhelm. Reflection creates insight. Small daily actions create resilience. Language practice grows naturally. By combining emotional awareness with English practice, you strengthen your mind, body, and voice. Alex's journey teaches us that transformation is gradual but real. You do not need grand plans. You need small steps, repeated consistently, patience, and self-compassion. Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you like. Think about your day. Notice one frustration, one stress point, or one moment of sadness. Take a slow breath. Ask yourself, can I act? Can I pause? Can I notice? These small reflections create change. Speak aloud, I am learning. I am growing. I can take control. Repeating these phrases strengthens English fluency and reinforces emotional control. As you continue, Remember that each day is an opportunity. Each small step matters. Each reflection, each habit, each word spoken builds resilience. Your journey may mirror Alex's story, or it may be different. The principles remain: awareness, action, reflection, and patience. Life is unpredictable, but your response can become steady, calm, and strong. And as you practice listening to stories, repeating phrases, and speaking naturally, your English will improve alongside your emotional growth. By the end of this journey, frustration, stress, and sadness do not disappear. They become signals you can notice and respond to. You are not helpless. You are learning. You are growing. And with consistent attention, small actions, and self-compassion, you take control of your emotions, your mind, and your voice. Alex realized that understanding emotions was one thing, but practicing responses made the change permanent. Small habits worked, but combining them with language practice strengthened both his mind and his English skills. One morning, he tried a new exercise. He picked a small frustration from the day: his breakfast was late and his coffee spilled. Instead of reacting quickly, he paused and described the moment aloud. "I feel frustrated because my coffee spilled. I will clean it," and take a deep breath. Speaking slowly, clearly, and naturally helped him process the emotion while practicing English sentences in real life. You can do this too. Take any small frustration. Speak aloud in simple English: "I feel," because "I will." Repetition is key. Over time, you will notice two things: your mind becomes calmer and your English becomes more natural. Alex also experimented with storytelling variations. He imagined his day as a story. He described what happened, what he felt, and what he did next. "This morning, I felt frustrated because I was late. I walked slowly, breathed deeply, and started again." Turning life into a story gives structure to thoughts and strengthens narrative skills in English. Another practice Alex used was reflection aloud. At the end of the day, he said, "Today I noticed 3 feelings. I responded to frustration by. I responded to stress by. I acted kindly by." Speaking aloud consolidates memory and improves pronunciation, fluency, and natural sentence flow. Alex also practiced visualization while speaking. He imagined stress as clouds moving away, frustration as sparks he could control, and sadness as a gentle shadow he could observe. He described these images aloud in English. "I see the cloud moving away. I notice the spark and let it fade. I watch the shadow and I am calm." This combination of imagination, observation, and language created a powerful daily practice. You can try the same. Pick any emotion, notice it, describe it, visualize it, and speak it slowly in simple English. Over time, your mind becomes aware and your language becomes fluent. Another tip Alex discovered was repetition with variation. He repeated sentences but changed small words. "I feel frustrated because my phone broke. I feel stressed because I have too many tasks. I feel sad because I could not sleep." Repeating patterns with variations strengthens vocabulary, grammar, and emotional expression. Then Alex used role-playing. He imagined talking to a friend. "I am frustrated. Can you help me think?" Or, "I feel stressed. What do you do when you feel like this?" Speaking aloud, imagining conversations, and answering in English created practical communication skills while managing emotions. Alex also practiced listening. He listened to his own recordings of storytelling aloud, slowly, clearly, and naturally. He noticed his pronunciation, word flow, and sentence structure. Listening and repeating strengthened comprehension and confidence. You can try this too. Record a story about your day, play it back slowly, and repeat aloud. Combining emotional awareness with English listening and speaking is powerful. These exercises also teach patience. Progress is gradual. Frustration may reappear, stress may rise, and sadness may linger. That is normal. The goal is consistent practice, reflection, and gentle self-compassion. Finally, Alex combined all exercises into a daily routine. 1. Morning pause and deep breaths. 2. Short walk or stretching. 3. Speaking a small story about morning experiences. 4. Journaling 1 or 2 lines. 5. Pausing during work to notice emotions and speak aloud. 6. Evening reflection aloud, describing feelings, responses, and lessons. 7. Visualization and imagination of emotions. 8. Kindness and gratitude practice. Each day, he repeated this routine slowly and consistently. Over weeks, he noticed a major difference. Frustration became smaller, stress became manageable, sadness lighter, and English fluency improved naturally. You can try the same routine in your life. Start small. Add 1 or 2 steps each day. Repeat, reflect, and practice aloud. This is the secret. Combining emotional awareness with spoken English exercises strengthens both mind and language. In the next section, we will explore challenges and setbacks, common in every journey, and how to respond without losing progress. We will also practice storytelling English in those moments, reinforcing listening and speaking naturally. Even with routines and daily habits, Alex knew life would not always be smooth. One day, he missed an important deadline at work. He felt the familiar spark of frustration, the pull of stress, and a small whisper of sadness. At first, he wanted to give up, thinking, "Why do I even try?" Nothing changes. This is a normal moment for everyone. Setbacks happen. The key is how you respond. Alex reminded himself of the tools he had practiced. He paused and noticed his emotions. He said aloud in simple English, "I feel frustrated because I missed the deadline. I feel stressed because I have too much work. I feel sad because I thought I could manage it all." Speaking his feelings clearly and slowly helped him recognize them without judgment. You can do the same. When setbacks happen, name your emotions aloud: frustration, stress, sadness. Recognition is the first step to control. Then Alex used problem solving. He asked, "What can I do now?" Instead of focusing on blame or regret, he listed small steps to recover. He prioritized tasks, asked for help, and took a short break to reset. Small actions reduce overwhelm. Speaking your plan aloud in English strengthens both clarity of thought and fluency. Alex also reflected on what he learned. He said, "Next time, I will plan better and ask for help sooner." Reflection turns setbacks into lessons. It is not criticism, it is guidance for the future. Setbacks also provide an opportunity for storytelling practice. Alex told his friend about the situation as a story. "Today, I faced a challenge. I missed a deadline. I felt frustrated, stressed, and sad. Then I paused, breathed, and made a plan. I completed the most important task. I learned to ask for help." Speaking the story aloud practices natural English flow, emotions, and narrative skills. You can try this too. Turn your challenges into stories. Describe the feelings, the actions, and the lesson. Repeat aloud. This practice helps your mind process setbacks and improves English fluency simultaneously. Another tool Alex used was self-compassion. He reminded himself, "I am human. Mistakes happen. I am learning." Kindness toward oneself reduces the weight of setbacks and prevents small frustrations from turning into bigger stress. Visualizing setbacks also helped. He imagined the missed deadline as a small cloud passing by. He observed it without judgment and moved forward. Visualization reduces emotional intensity and trains calm response. Alex learned to combine habits during challenges. Pause, notice emotions, breathe, speak aloud, reflect, take small action, and practice kindness. This routine turned setbacks into growth opportunities. You can follow the same sequence. Start with awareness, then action, then reflection, then kindness. Repeat these steps consistently. Over time, your mind becomes resilient. Stress becomes manageable. Frustration loses power. Sadness is observed, not feared. English fluency grows naturally because you describe events, emotions, and actions aloud. Finally, Alex practiced storytelling variations. He told the same event in different ways, first focusing on feelings, then on actions, then on lessons learned. Each variation strengthens sentence structure, vocabulary, and emotional understanding. You can do the same with your own experiences. Retell challenges from different angles, aloud in simple English. This builds flexibility in thinking and language. Remember, setbacks do not erase progress. They are part of the journey. How you respond shapes the outcome. Pausing, speaking aloud, reflecting, taking action, visualizing, and practicing kindness allow you to stay strong. By turning challenges into stories, you improve both emotional resilience and English fluency naturally. In the next section, we will explore consolidation and final takeaways, summarizing Alex's journey, the practical exercises, and the key strategies you can use daily to master both emotions and English speaking.